Hey guys, sorry it's been a while since my previous video. I've been extremely busy with work over the last couple months, and as a result I've had to prioritize my time on more important things. However, as promised, I present to you now my orbital guide for Dead Dawg Saloon. In this guide I include orbitals for generators only, and I've chosen to leave some out due to the complexity of their setups. This guide is split into two parts, and I'll be releasing the next parts within the next few weeks. If you have any questions or suggestions, feel free to let me know in the comments and I'll do my best to answer. Let's begin. The first set of orbitals I'll be demonstrating are for the generator that spawns in the main building. For the long side of this generator, simply slide into this gap between the crates at the loop behind the gallows and throw. You'll find a totem spawned in between there sometimes, but that makes no difference. You can also throw a second hatchet from here to double tap unsuspecting survivors. Next up, we have the short side of the generator closest to shack. Simply look down, move back until half the crate is visible, and throw. Those of you who have watched my RPD and midwich guide will be familiar with the way I set this up. And just as with the previous, you can also throw a second hatchet from here to double tap survivors. For the other short side, you can use the edge of the map in between shack and main as shown. You will need to take a small step forward before throwing your orbital, and you can also connect this with a second hatchet to double tap survivors. Moving on to the gallows. This first spot works for the short and long sides closest to the gallows window vault. The angle for the short side is a little tight, but you can use the throw hatchet text to help with accuracy. I will show you the orbitals first before moving on to the double taps. And just as I said earlier, you can use this spot for the long side as well. The next spot is for the sides closest to main building and shack. Simply tuck yourself next to the water pump as shown and you're good to go. There are a couple of ways you can throw the second hatchet. Either you throw a charged one, which is the go-to method for many, or you can throw a lob through the gap between the railing on main. But be warned, you are more likely to miss this. If you're struggling with the lob shots, you can use the throw hatchet text to help you line them up, but it will still take some practice to get used to them. I will now demonstrate orbitals for generators that spawn in each section of the map, starting with number 1. This first generator spawns behind the house and can be reached via the setup stairs. You can hit this generator with orbitals from inside main building. Position yourself between the third and fourth gap in the railing as shown and throw. Both of the sides can be hit from this location. The next set of throws aren't orbitals, but they are too cool to be excluded from this video and are for the generators that spawn in front of this house at Part 1. To hit the generators shown in the previous clip, head over to shack and position yourself next to the pallet. If the pallet is still up, adjust your character as necessary to avoid collision. For the next generator, you have slightly more room to move around inside shack, and just as with the previous, multiple sides can be hit through the same hole. Next, we have one of the generators that spawns behind the house. It can be hit with orbitals from the outer side of main building. For the short side closest to you, hug the railing as shown and throw once you reach the bottom. For the long side, hug the building itself and throw once you reach the bottom. And to end this tile, we have this generator that spawns in a corner behind the house. The short side can be hit with orbitals. The way I line this up is by positioning myself to the left of shack's door whilst hugging the side of the road near the grass. The next tile has a generator that spawns near its center, and it can be hit with orbitals from main. It has two variations and can spawn with either side facing you. For the side closest to you, hug the corner as shown and throw through the hole. For the other side, move slightly forward before throwing your hatchet. There is a gen that spawns behind the house on tile 3 that can also be hit with orbitals from main. The way I remember this is by using the gaps in the railing. The short side closest to me is 3 spaces excluding the corner gap, followed by 6 and 9. 9 gaps forward is the spot for the furthest short side of this generator. Move back 3 spaces for the long side, and then another 3 for the short side closest to you. Similar to the generator that spawns behind the house on tile 1, a generator spawns on this tile which can be hit with orbitals from main building. Position yourself in the corner of the hole by the railing and throw. The same location can be used for both sides. Moving on to the fourth tile, there is a generator that spawns to the left that can be hit with orbitals from the gallows. For the side closest to you, you can use the space in front of the gallows gen that is nearest to shack. From here, a step forward will allow you to hit the other side. This generator can spawn in two variations, with either the short or long side facing you, but that doesn't change anything and the same spots can be used for both. Moving on to the fifth tile, there is a generator that spawns behind the windmill and water tower. The short side to the left can be hit from the gallows. Simply walk up into the corner as shown and throw. For the other short side, drop down and position yourself in the center of the cage wagon and throw. Finally, for the long side, face the generator and move forward until you no longer see the entrance to shack and throw. To end this video, I'll be showing you orbitals for a generator that spawns between tiles 7 and 8. This set of orbitals works only when the generator spawns at an angle in which the short sides are facing the gallows and main building. For the long and short side closest to you, simply vault the window in main as shown and throw. The other short side has quite a tight angle, but if you look down parallel to main and walk forward until you can no longer see the window frame, you'll be in position to hit it with orbitals. And that's all for today's video. I hope the information provided is helpful to you, and as always, I look forward to hearing about your success in game. In the next video, I'll be covering orbitals for the hooks, as well as all the double tap spots that I know for this map. If you have any questions or suggestions, leave them in the comments and I'll do my best to answer. Till next time, bye bye.